So can you hear me now? If you can, just give me a thumbs up. If I am audible, you can. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Now,
Mm, good,
before
good.
couple of minutes, we could not able to hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry for that. All right, so like I said, today we will be looking at um, the hacker's mindset. All right. So yesterday we talked a lot about penetration testing. Right. We talk about the types of pen testing, black, white, and gray boxes, and we talked about the stages in the pen testing process and so forth. So today we will be looking at what's the mindset of a pen tester or a professional pen tester. So I want to see if I can make use of the whiteboard. Just a minute. Okay. Can you see the whiteboard? Okay, good.
Now it's good from me.
Okay, fine. Yes, so let me just type. So our topic or discussion point is about right. Um so before we begin, can anyone tell us as a um pen tester how we are supposed to behave? Um because I know we have some level of understanding, if at least if not all, but some of us, we have some level of understanding as to what a pen tester is, and I think we have also discussed within the last days about pen testing. So, what do you think about a pen tester? What do you expect that a pen tester should think or should act? Any clue?
Right? In simple, a pen tester should act on identifying the vulnerabilities and also access systems for weakness that could be exploited by the actors. And also, the pen tester should be aware of how to we perform cyber attacks to evaluate any kind of systems or network. And also there are some stages which we need to work on it in line by way. I can say we have 6 stages. We have a lot of responsibilities as it's been tested to act on it. Basically, we have to work on planning and reconnaissance as well as there are a lot of tools to perform any kind of unlimited scanning and remediation and also to maintain the access part how we are going to figure it out and also how we need to analyze on covering your activities and also about the reporting tasks how we are going to perform with the stakeholders and the customers. In short, I would say this.
Hmm. That's good. That's a good one. Anyone else can? Anyone else can add up to that? So yes, so every person in every field, in every sector, um we have a specific focus, right? We have a specific goal, and depending on exactly what you or your targets might be or your expectations might be. Of course, you have to think in that um, direction. So, as pen testers, it is often said that the tools, okay, they don't do the hacking, okay, they don't hack the systems, but it's actually the mindsets that do, okay. So we might have all of the great tools been developed. Some are open source, some we have to pay, and so forth. But it is important to know as a pen tester or from a professional pen tester standpoint that the tools are not the one doing the hacking, they're just assisting us. But our mindsets, okay, the way we think, triggers the way we act, and it should even trigger what kind of tools that we use, right? So not the other way around. The tool detecting or debating what kind of tool we use, but rather our actions or our thoughts, our mindsets should um, tell us what kind of tools to use or what kind of act to perform, right? So most critical bots, okay, are found not by the tools that are being made, okay, out there, right? Especially most zero day vulnerabilities, right? So most of them they are um, being found by either observing the system, because you find what if the system it's new, right? And there hasn't been any kind of trace whatsoever about breach and like that and vulnerabilities. So in those kind of systems, um, you have to observe a lot. Okay, you need to understand, like we discussed yesterday, you have to understand a lot about the particular system. And you know, y- you should be having more assumptions, okay, and you should be challenging those assumptions.
Okay, just for my clarification, just want to understand. So there are a lot of scanning tool. As a penetration tester, you have the responsibilities. Yesterday we discussed about the Nmap tool, and as you know, we have Qualys, we have Nexus, we have SIM, we have Burpsuit, Metaspoil. Lot of scanning tool are there.
Mm.
How we differ from them, and what, see, tool is not an important thing as a penetration tester. How confident we have to take care of the responsibilities and learn as an individual contributor. How we differ from them, or how much knowledge we gain to handle those criticalities. See, if we have get trained on Nmap tool, when you go to some other organization and work on Qualys or Rapid 7 or any other tool, there are a number of tools, as you know. So how we get the basic knowledge and perform those activities.
Yes. So this is where we are talking about having or knowing a mindset or having an understanding of uh, you as a pen tester. What are you supposed to think? Because see, the like you have said, right? The tools are available. All of the latest tools are there. Some um, you can find very popular, right? Browse Suite is there, Nmap is there, SQL SQL map is there, and we have a lot of them. And what makes us different, especially as professional pen testers, is the mindset that we have. Okay, the mindset that we have. So our mindset should be the most powerful tool um that we should use, right? So the tools, like I said previously, it's just a kind of means of assisting us in performing some tasks, okay, to do automations. But obviously, the mindset has to be set, right? um, what actions you need to perform, what areas you need to check. Okay, because like we discussed on last session, um, as a pen tester, if you are given example a web application to perform this task, like where are you going to start from? Where are you going to search? Having those kind of mindsets gonna help you, right, to even pick the right tool.
Okay, so basically, in any tool, you access the vulnerabilities which needs
As
to be
few of
remediated.
those come again.
Okay, so just for an example, I'm just taking it out. In any tool, you access the vulnerability which needs to be remediated. It could be either a TLS or SSL certificate. Every tool have the recommendations, right? And we also discuss about the open ports, which we say, for example, SQL. So all the tools will give you the vulnerability recommendations, right? So there is nothing different. Just want to clarify
Oh
it.
yes, the tools the tools which you are using will give you recommendations. Yes, um, they will definitely find some loopholes because there are tools, right? There are tools that are developed, and even those tools themselves, they have some loopholes, right? They have some issues. Some of the tools that are outdated, right? So the tools they are designed for specific tasks, okay, and
Mhm.
they perform specifically those tasks, right? But you as a human, you as a person, you have a more edge. Okay, you can read the reports from those tools and you can analyze those reports and you can cross check those reports, right?
Right.
Yes. So great, great, great. So the first um traits that we will be looking at uh, of a pen tester or a professional pen tester is curiosity. All right. So we all know what curiosity means. So asking questions like, "What if I try this option?" Right? Um, is how, of course, almost every exploitation begins. Right? You have to ask the how, okay, the what questions. Okay, so you need to be curious. So it's not about looking for the tool, right? The tools most time they are automated and most times they might jump over some portions of security which it's not covered in the tool. So asking the question, being curious about um, um, what happened, okay, if I try this method, okay, how is it going to respond to me, okay, and also asking them and performing them. Okay, so let's take for example in SQL injection, a typical example. Okay, so in if we performing SQL injection, probably we might try different combinations of characters or SQL codes, right? SQL script within at either a web form or within a search field, whatever input field that connects to the database. Okay, so we might ask, we might ask questions. Okay, if I can use, for example, select star from table, okay, which means select all from the table, right? Table name. Can I be able to try another option? Okay, so if I remove select star, okay, and I replace star with something else, what is going to happen? Those kind of curiosity you have to build. So um, you need to be curious about that. So that is one of the most important mindset of professional pen tester. Okay, and two is creativity. Okay, so just as we have mentioned, the tools are available. Okay, so why do I need to, venture into other tasks when I can just use the tools? Okay, the tools might not be creative. Okay, because the tools they are designed, they are scripts that are written only to perform certain tasks. Okay, they can go beyond that, right? So as a pen tester, you need to be creative. Okay. Um, looking for um, some unintended use cases. Okay. And trying to exploit, certain parameters and using multiple small issues. Okay. And
Seems like I could not able to hear from Baysah. Anyone can able to record if you can able to hear his voice. I see got disconnected.
We can't you.
Probably I think he got disconnected. Let's wait for his response.
Having some troubles with my internet today. Yes, so sorry for that. So like I was saying, yes, we need to be creative every time we have certain kind of tasks to perform. And the third one is being persistent. Okay, so you also need to have um, persistence. Okay, most of the time, as it is often said, the first 10 attempts might fail. Okay, but the 11th might be able to yield result. Okay, so persistence is it's the key. Okay, so you might have tried different combinations, different attack methods. Um, th- there might be a firewall being built on the web app, server, which might stop you from performing brute force attack. Can you try other means? Okay, so always you need to keep the persistence, even if it's for 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, 1 month. Okay. Um, so you need to keep up that. All right.
Perfect example. I would also request you to show
That's what
some.
past to do.
Okay. So what I was speaking out on this call is if we have any kind of SQL injection or DDoS or XSS vulnerabilities, any kind of thing, if you show as an example, it will be great for us to look into practically. We can experience that. How do we remediate it? And moreover, since we talked about the tool,
Um,
we have a number of tools. If in case all the tools have in sync with the disease or cloud, right? On any kind of vulnerabilities which we remediated, if in case after fixing out the vulnerabilities, still it is showing it on the tool, how do we overcome and show the outcome and result? Just for my understanding, I'm asking it.
if you have patched all the vulnerabilities, but it's still showing in a tool, that's what you mean?
Right. I tried to fix the vulnerabilities, I cleared it, but still it is showing on my tool. So how do I overcome and show the positive result?
Yeah. So yes. So that's what I said. Some of these tools also do malfunction. Okay, and this is where as a pen tester um you need to have these skills. Okay, you need to have a skill also of not being dependent on a single tool. Okay, uh, because you're gonna do a report, right? Um, so obviously you might want to try two or more tools and see how the results might differ from one tool to the other tool. Okay. So as someone performing pen testing, you should be aware of those. Probably the tool might be outdated. Okay, if it's a Blob Studio you're using, or if it's Zap tool you are using, um, if it's an outdated tool, you might face some issues with probably wrong alerts, okay, or alarms, right? And so you might want to try two or more tools, okay, in such cases. And also you might want to try or manual means, okay. And this is where, like we discussed yesterday, the three types of um, um, pen testers might come in. Okay, so you as an insider, you have understanding of the tool. You already have designed it. You already have patched the tool, right? So you already have knowledge about it. So this is where sometimes you invite someone from the outside who has no understanding about the tool, right? How it operates, and whether there even is a vulnerability or so. So let them also perform the assessment. Okay. So in your case, you have been using a specific tool. Now go in for another tool. Okay. um, Try to use another version of the tool, okay, and see if you're still getting the same results, right? So that's the advice I will give you from my own experience.
Perfect.
So
Great advice.
persistence, yes, yes. So persistence, just as we've been saying, you have to make attempts over and over till you can get the most certifiable result. Okay, you don't just have to do one scan and you output the results, and then you analyze it and you submit the results. No, so one time, two time with multiple tools, and getting the results and comparing the results, right? You can be able to see from different angles as to, yes, this is the problem and this is the vulnerability. So the fourth one is adaptability. So like we discussed yesterday, right? No two system will be the same. Believe me or not, no two network are the same. No two applications are the same. Okay, so not because you tested this system, this network, okay, you have this result, okay, then the same is going to apply to this same system, okay, even if they are having the same architecture, even they are the same version, even they are the same OS, right? Obviously, in the sense of a pen tester point of view, they are going to be distinct, right? No two system is going to be the same. So you always have to be adaptable. You have to understand every system. You have to understand every setup, every architecture by itself. Great. So every new environment, we should be able to understand, and we should be able to build up new tactics about how we can be able to exploit that system. Okay. So do not go with the understanding that I hacked MySQL Server 3.0 example, and so on this system, so it means that I can exploit it on this system without any issue. Okay, so even though you exploited this system, but the setup on this other system might be quite different that you should understand. Okay, so that's the goal. Always know that no two system will be the same. So that's adaptability. And the fifth point is ethical discipline. So the reason we are called ethical hackers, okay, or the reason we are hired, okay, as pen testers is because of ethics, okay. The difference between us and the malicious guys is ethics, okay. So um, having access to a system, okay, um, ethically, it's our main in aim and objective, right? Um, so having an access and making use of um, the access being given us, the scope at which we are supposed to go, right? Or should be designed ethically, okay? And so you might be hired as a pen tester just for testing the login credential of a system, okay? So that is your scope, okay, as a pen tester for that point in time, and that should be your working point. So you cannot go outside of your scope, okay? Even though you have the potential to do so, but ethical discipline should require you to stay only in the scope for which that has been defined in your agreement. Okay. So knowing what and when to pull, your trigger should be you should be knowledgeable about. Okay. So that's why most time we are skeptical about um just visiting any website and scanning the website or finding loopholes on the website without being authorized to do so. It's totally unethical and it's also illegal to do so. Right. So always be ethical. And the last one is skepticism. Okay. So we also always need to be skeptical. We don't have to trust anything, okay? And we don't have to assume, okay, or we have to assume nothing, right? So don't have a fixed mindset, okay? Always be skeptical about things, okay? Don't trust, okay? There's a saying that um, the developers would trust the users, okay, but we, the pen testers, we will not. Okay. We also have something called the zero trust. I think we know about the zero trust architecture or security architecture, where we don't trust anything. Okay. So always we should validate our assumptions. Okay. Like asking questions about does this endpoint really check? Okay. So let's take for example, you might be informed that this particular port, okay, um, is for this purpose. Okay, for example, port 336 or port 443 or whatever port, okay, is designed for maybe the database server, right? So that might be an assumption. Okay, you have to be skeptical in a sense that you should be able to actually test that yes, this port is for this purpose. Okay, so you shouldn't trust whatever information info you have. Okay, till you can perform the task, that system is still not secure. Do we have any question? Any question? Okay. So I'll
Thank
just
you
give
for
you
now.
one example. I'll just give you one example about this scenario about my previous college. Okay, that's back home, right? So I was curious, and then I went onto my college website. Okay, and I was actually just playing around, as pen testers. Most time we just play around and trying to see what we can get. So this day I actually I was using um no tool. Okay, it was just a manual process. Like we said, you should build that habit. So I was using Google Docs. Okay, I think we talked about Google Docking yesterday, and in upcoming sessions we will perform the practicas. So I was using Google Docking, trying different options. Okay, and it was, to my surprise, that I was able to actually find a very important vulnerability in the website. Okay, so what exactly I did was using Google Docking. I listed all of the directory, right? All of the files on the particular web server that was hosting the school's website. Okay, so I got all of the directories, right? So usually the there are restrictions. Okay, there are access controls mechanisms put in place that, based on your user credential, you cannot access certain page. Okay, so I, as a student, based on my login credentials, I cannot access admin privileges. Okay, I cannot access finance data. I cannot access teachers' data. Okay, I cannot access those kind of grades for other students. To my surprise, after listing all of the pages within the school's website, or in the server, after I click, I was able to access freely um, transcripts. I was able to access the admin's account. I was able to access teachers' own accounts. So I was even able to create my own account. I could view all of the users, all of the teachers, all the registrar, the admin, all of the different types. I was also able to access the page that they use to create accounts. I was able to create my own account as a teacher, as an admin, and so forth. So this was a very critical vulnerability. Yet then still, I didn't get the vulnerability by using the tool. And it was also surprising that I actually used the tool. Okay, I used two different tools to scan the entire website, and that vulnerability was not identified. Okay, and like after we um were able to do that, okay, we were able to perform that, and we did a report. Okay, and like I can remember my colleague asked, he was like, um which was, how you were able to come up, how did you identify this vulnerability, because his mind was about using tools and getting the URL and so forth. How I was able to maybe perform brute force attack, on the admin's login, but there was no such thing. I didn't have to perform any brute force attack. I didn't have to perform any SQL injection attack. You know, so like we said from the beginning, um, the right mindset is the right tool. It's the ultimate tools we used. Okay, whenever we perform a pen testing, the tools will come afterward. The tools will help us to perform some tasks, right? But knowing what to do, what to search for, manually just playing around the system as a regular user and thinking as a pen tester and having that mindset can help a lot. Okay, so this is just a scenario I thought they explain on how we can you can try that today and any other day. Take maybe your own website. Okay, try to play around, just try to search in some parameters without using tools. Okay, you will be shocked to know that some basic and critical vulnerabilities will be discovered by yourself. Okay, because you were curious, because you were persistent, and not obviously using the tools. Okay, so I think it's after 9. Mm, it's after 9. So I will give you one task. Okay, which we were supposed to do today, but I'll give you that as a take-home task. Let me just so between now and our next session, please, I'm giving you this task. Um, be able to exploit what or the infrastructure of a pen tester. Okay. Um, what are the tools that the pen tester will use? The basic setup. Okay. How the pen tester will set up the lab. Okay. So be able to understand exactly the basic setup or the basic infrastructure that we need to set up as pen testers. So you can read about it and set up the infrastructure on your system because sooner or later we will be performing the practicals and your systems, your infrastructures need to be set up from a pen tester point of view. Okay, especially from a pen tester's point of view. Okay, so again, do this task, be able to understand um, the infrastructure or the lab setup from a web pen tester point of view. Okay, what are the tools required? What are the operating systems required? If we require network, um, um, sorry, 1 minute. Yes, so be able to understand that and be able to set up your own lab. Okay. Be able to set up your own lab. So I'll just give you a few. Okay. As a pen tester, it's not feasible. It's um in most cases we should not use our default operating system. Okay. It's always good to have a virtual machine installed. Okay, you can use whatever virtual machine, VMware, you can use vSphere, you can use there are a lot of um, um, virtual machines platforms available we can use, and obviously we should be able to have at least a distribution of Kali Linux installed. Okay. Um, Maybe we can be advised to download the um, whatever it's favorable for us. We can download and be able to set up whatever environments that we need. Okay. Network environments, what kind of network we might want to use, and all of that. So understand that if you need any help, you can also reach out to me, and um, or you can make use of the internet and set up the lab possible so that we can start practicals. So thank you for today. Um, I hope we were able to learn something, and every time we meet, be able to take something away, be able to learn new thing, take notes and add up to your existing knowledge. This is how we should grow. And coming together, it's not about thinking about exams. You're gonna do exam. No, here we're not thinking about scoring GPAs. So basically, when we come here, we are building our future. Okay, so have the mindset that you are building your future. So whatever knowledge you gain here should be taken in as an add-on for your future career, not for scoring max. Okay. Um, Whatever you are also given, try as much as possible to make further research about it. Try as much as possible to do your own research and understanding about whatever subject we covered. So thank you. It's been a nice time. If do we have any question or any comment, then you can do. And afterwards we can call today or day. And if we have our lab set up by next session, we should be able to start um, performing some actions. If there's no question, can we call this a day? Okay, one person. Yes. Okay, two persons. Three, four. Yep. Okay. Thank you so much. And do have a wonderful night. And I hope to see you. You can reach out to me as always, and I'll be there to help. Thank you and bye bye.